I would like to welcome everyone here today to the International Women's Day Breakfast for 2019. Well done everyone for getting here nice and early.
As the second female Rotary District 9800 Governor in 4 years, I'm supporting clubs in their projects across hundreds of endeavours. If we say we want change to happen, then we must take some responsibility and we have to step forward.
This morning's theme is about change. I'd like to give you a quote, a fella called Jim Rohn, who said, "Life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change."
Happy International Women's Day for tomorrow. So at the end is Rob Hulls. He's now the director of RMIT Centre for Innovative Justice, but familiar to many of you, I'm sure, for his many years as a politician, including as Attorney General. Welcome, Rob. Next to him is Kristen Hilton, who is the Victorian Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commissioner. Next to her, Josh Bornstein, who's of course a lawyer with Morris Blackburn. Then Emma Burrows, who's a scientist at the Florey Institute of Neuroscience and was also one of the people to help set up the Women in Science in Parkville precinct. And next to me, Fiona Patton, who of course is the founder and leader of the Reason Party and sits in the Legislative Council here. Could you welcome our panel?
And I think events like this are really important to celebrate the progress that women and girls and men and boys have made towards a more gender equitable society. But at the same time to be extremely vigilant and recognise the fact that unless we really accelerate progress, unless we're a little bit radical in our workplaces, in our communities, in our sporting clubs, it's going to take us a long time. And in that period, women will still be discriminated against, they will be sexually harassed, men will be confined by narrow stereotypes of masculinity. Women and girls will still be, whether it's through obvious or more insidious forms of obstruction, not be able to get into the workplaces or the careers that they want to. And so this is really in some ways a bit of a call to action because many people here are probably employers or employees or have influence or a role of leadership in their organisation and communities. So I think it's a great opportunity to, yes, acknowledge the progress that we've made, but also to motivate each other about what still needs to happen.
I want to be safer because there's greater gender equality. I want to be safer because we're raising our women, boys and girls in a more equitable way.
Yeah.
I think Me Too did us a great service by elevating the issue of the mistreatment of women and gender inequality and the bad behaviour of powerful men to an uncomfortable level, and it got enormous traction. It encouraged, I think, more women to come forward, and they have come forward, and there are more complaints of sexual harassment and other mistreatment that we're seeing.
The other thing that I think is remarkable is that every industry that I talk to about flexible work thinks that they're unique in the problems that they have in catering for a flexible workforce. So law, for example, police, firefighters, doctors and nurses. Media, also people who run organisations which rely on shift rostering, like hospitality.
Emma.
A lot of the issues we've discussed today, and we mentioned the word power, are really about power, and in order to shift power, you need to give it up. And that leads to some really uncomfortable conversations, and something I've taken on in the last couple of years after attending a really amazing workshop actually was to have really uncomfortable conversations. So I'm throwing myself into these awkward moments, and it's because when you're uncomfortable, it's because you don't know what's going to happen, and because someone is perhaps going to be aggressive, maybe they might be upset, but when you don't know what's going to happen, it means you're doing something really new. And we've been doing a lot of work in this area, but we need to do something new in order to not be here discussing this, having the same conversation in 100 years' time, we need to be doing something new. So I challenge everyone here to have an uncomfortable conversation.
I guess my suggestion would be never to turn down an unexpected opportunity. During my time as Attorney General, I saw many women from diverse backgrounds assume they weren't ready or experienced or qualified enough for a particular task, I guess simply because they had their own internalised expectation that they needed to work twice as hard as their male, pale and stale counterparts to prove themselves. Individuals need to start challenging this expectation themselves. However, it's not just up to individuals. At the same time, across all professions, anyone who's in a position to make appointments have to make themselves aware that candidates will sometimes be their toughest critic, whilst in my experience, white middle-class men are a little more inclined to forgive their own flaws and promote their own achievements.
This year is our 8th breakfast. We have reached over 8,000 people. We've raised over $200,000. And this is all because we all know the importance of celebrating International Women's Day. And what that has also done is helped our membership grow in Rotary for women. When we started, we had 17% in our area, and now we've got nearly 30%.
Happy International Women's Day, everyone. My name's been Josh Earl. We hope we see you here next year. Enjoy the rest of your day. Round of applause to everyone who's organised this. Thank you, Crown Palladium. Hopefully we'll see you next year. Bye.